What is up, guys? It is Christ, and we are back with another video. Welcome back to Angra Tuesday, and welcome back to the Aurora Consurgence album reaction. So this is going to be the final video in this series, and we're going to be talking about the album afterwards. So if you guys want to see that, make sure you stick around. So, couple things. I do apologize for the late upload. I'm trying to get things ready as we go. Um, so I was not able to record for a while, and so I'm just now recording, and it's going to go up late. I do apologize. The other thing is that construction crew just showed up here, and I'm trying to get this out as quick as possible before they start work. I don't even know if they're going to work on my building, but if they do, I do apologize if you hear banging. I'm trying to get this out as quick as possible for you guys. So without further ado, we're going to be checking out what Out of This World, and then we're going to talk about the album afterwards. So, bit of unfortunate news. I tried looking everywhere for an actual good version of Out of This World. I did seek around inside the audio to see what it sounded like, and it sounded terrible. And that's just because of the way it was uploaded. There's nothing I can do about that. I tried looking on Spotify, I tried looking everywhere to get a better version of Out of This World, and I can't find one. So unfortunately, it's going to sound crappy to me, the audio quality is, and I shudder to even think what it's going to sound like once you guys actually get it. So I do apologize for the way the audio sounds. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. I like the acoustic intro. So this is supposed to be a different singer. A very different sound from the rest of the album. This guy's got an amazing voice. Okay, I like what they're doing with the snare.
Out of this world,
Holy crap! That was like I was not expecting that. I know I had honestly forgotten at first that people had told me it was a different singer. Um, Holy crap! He has an amazing voice. I want to know if he's done anything else for the band. If he has, please link it down in the comment section below. Maybe we'll check it out next week. Um, Overall, that was absolutely amazing. I really liked his voice. So, the first thing I can see, first impression, this does not fit thematically with the rest of the album, which deals with mental health issues. This is sort of like an environmental awareness video from what I've seen. For example, it says, uh, where was it? And it says, "We are slowly destroying this world. No other planet, nowhere is better than here, into the night." And then he says, "Spinning around the night, seeing the people so small, I see how much we have screwed our lives, and there's something I'm trying to say. There'll be no second chance for our race. Circled horizon, staring at our lonely world into the night, like a fire bullet through the sky when I find my way back home." So this sounds like he when he's talking about circling the earth, I'm thinking he's talking about when he's touring. He sees all the stuff and the impact that humans have had on this world, the negative impact, the pollution, the I guess if you believe in climate change like that too. Some people don't, which is why I put it there. Um, there's a lot of issues that humans are directly responsible for: deforestation, extinction of species of different kinds of animals, hunting for, sport, all that kinds of stuff. And this is all like destroying our world. And I can totally understand where this is coming from. And even if that's not like the main theme of this song, I certainly take it that way. And it's something that I definitely care a lot about. We've only got one planet. Um, People are fools if they think that we're going to go inhabit another planet after this one is stripped of its resources. It's not going to happen. And the only thing that we can do is take care of the world that we have. And it's really sad to see um, what humans have done. Humans really are the most evil creatures. And that's the only thing I'm going to say. I'm not going to go any further than that because there's a lot of different kinds of politics I'm just not going to get into. But one thing we can agree on is that humans need to do a better job at taking care of this world. That's what I'll leave you guys with for the lyrics. Um, so another thing is that the instrumentation, I couldn't really hear a lot of it um, because of the audio quality. It sounded absolutely terrible. It was definitely less than standard. I would say it's probably somewhere in the 86 kilobytes per second mark, which is absolutely terrible. Normal is about 128, which is what I think YouTube uploads in. So it was way less than what YouTube actually uploads in, so I do apologize for that. Definitely did not enjoy it either. So one thing I can say is that the instrumentation, what I could hear and make out, was absolutely amazing, and it's a shame I did not have a better version of this to listen to. Uh, I tried looking everywhere before I actually did this video. I looked on Spotify, looked on a couple other places, and just I couldn't find anything. It's relatively rare song, I guess you would say, which is a good thing and a bad thing because it's absolutely amazing, but can't find it anywhere. But the riffs in this song were absolutely incredible, and I don't think it didn't really fit with the rest of the album for me. For some reason, it didn't fit. It had more of the traditional elements of Angra that I'm used to. Um, so a lot of Aurora Consurgence had more of a stripped back, kind of no nonsense heavy metal sound to it. Um, there was some elements of like traditional Brazilian music that I could hear, but it definitely was not as prominent as on other albums. And that's something that I did notice. They used a lot more patterns and chord progressions on this that were kind of more similar to what I'm used to hearing, which was really good. And also, I gotta give recognition to that singer again. He was amazing. If he sings on anything else, I would really love to hear more of him. His voice was incredible. He was singing so passionately, yet he had like this edge to his voice that sounded amazing. That's my assessment of the song. Absolutely amazing song, and I'm hesitant to put it in the top five, but it's at the very least going to get an honorable mention. So let's get to the discussion of Aurora Consurgence. I'm sure you guys have been wanting to hear my thoughts on it. I've been kind of um, not really giving my full impression until I hear the whole album. And what I can tell you as a newcomer coming into the band, now keep in mind, I don't represent the majority of Angra fans. I I only discovered them after this channel, so therefore I don't really have like that attachment that a lot of people do when they first started listening to Angra. So I'm looking at this from an unbiased standpoint, not really knowing any of the history, and not really being involved in any of the history of the band, which there was some issues back in this era when Aurora Consurgence had came out. Now, my assessment of the album, it's absolutely amazing. There is so much variety on this album that it's like every song feels unique, and that's what I loved about this album. Um, from all the way from the course of nature all the way till this song, each song sort of had its own theme, had its own style, everything, and I absolutely loved it. The course of nature was definitely a more aggressive song, which is what I really liked. Um, and I would definitely put that in my top five. So far, I gotta get the list up here. I need to figure out which ones they were. Okay, so my top five songs would have to be The Course of Nature, The Voice Commanding You. Yeah, I can't do a top five. There's so many good songs on this album. Okay, well, let's strip it back. The Course of Nature, Ego Painted Gray, Passing By. You know what? I'm gonna go for Out of This World. The Voice Commanding You, and then Scream Your Heart Out. Those are my five. That actually might have been six. I'm not sure. Those are my favorite songs on this album by far. Those are the ones I keep coming back to, the ones I keep listening to, and the ones I'll probably end up doing live reactions. So if you guys have any suggestions or links for live videos with those songs, I would very much like to hear them. So with that out of the way, guys, actually no, we're going to talk a little bit more about the album. So one thing I can say, where does it stack compared to other albums? I've heard a lot of, I think it was called Temple of Hate or Temple of Shadows, I can't remember. Um, that album definitely stood out to me because that was the first impression I had of Angra. And I definitely would like to come back to that. I know I didn't react to the whole album. I would like to check out the rest. Um, but when it stacks to Rebirth, it's a toss-up because I loved Rebirth and Aurora Consurgence for completely different reasons. Um, I would say that honestly, I like them equally because Rebirth had so much more of the traditional elements of Angra that I was used to, and it was really heavy as well too. Like that album had a lot of speed metal. It had a lot of more aggressive. I wouldn't say as aggressive, but it definitely had a little bit of aggressive parts to it, if I remember correctly. And it was overall an absolutely amazing album. This one was more experimental. This one had a lot of different themes in it, a lot of different styles, and a lot more different time signature changes, which is like the progressive metal fan in me, which I recently became as of like last year. I really enjoyed those elements, and so I definitely appreciate the variety on this. But Rebirth had a more, I guess, unified theme versus this was about a bunch of different topics, and each of those topics sort of had like this own feel to it. And I would say that the most unique song on this album would have to be, where was it? Uh, Song 4 is not on here. I believe it was, I said it earlier. Breaking Ties, that's what it was. Breaking Ties had sort of like this almost Guns N' Roses feel to it, which I absolutely loved. I keep listening to that one. Um, and there's some songs I don't really care for as much as the others. Window to Nowhere is kind of like an iffy one. It's kind of like, okay, I'll listen to it, but it's really not my favorite song on the album. Um, but that's really, I think, the only weak part for me. Um, I think that I had actually gave that one initial praise, and then I sort of like started re-listening to it, and I'm like, it's not really my favorite song, and that's the problem. That's both the blessing and the curse with reaction channels and the first time listening to something. Your first impression of a song isn't always the best. I've proven that with songs that I did not like initially before, and now there's some of my favorite songs, as well as the ones that I absolutely loved at first, but then the more I listen to them, the more I think maybe this isn't the best thing in the world. Um, and so it's kind of really hard to judge upon the first listen, but the initial reaction is what counts on this channel. Um, but yeah, that's gonna be my assumption for Aurora Consurgence. If I have to rate it, it's gonna be trying to get critical here, like really critical. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. It was absolutely amazing. There was only, I think, a couple of songs that I can think of. I can't even remember what they are off the top of my head. I think Window to Nowhere was one of them that I just didn't care for as much as the others. But for the most part, it was an absolutely amazing album, and I absolutely loved it. Guys, that is going to be all for this video. If you guys want to see more Angra, please drop a like button. Uh, please drop a like. And then I want you guys to suggest the next album in the comment section below. And the one that wins that is going to be the one we do next week. So a couple of things about it. I've reacted to a variety of Angra and sometimes multiple songs off of different records. Temple of Hate or Temple of Shadows, I can't remember what it's called. I've done a lot off of that record. So if you guys choose that, I'll definitely re-listen to the songs, but I don't know if I'm gonna react to them again. Um, so I'll definitely listen to the ones I have listened to off camera, and then I'll just react to the ones that I haven't done. Or if you guys want me to, since those are so old, those videos are incredibly old and they did not age well. So if you guys want me to just re-react to the whole thing, and I believe at that point, you know what? I'm convincing myself now that I probably should, because I was not doing lyrical breakdowns. I was kind of nervous back when I first started doing Angra, and so it would not be a good way to do that. So if you guys want me to re-listen to them on camera, I'm perfectly fine with it. You just got to let me know. If you think that they're fine as they are, just say go ahead and leave it. So yeah, with that out of the way, guys, this has been Christ, and we will see you next time. Peace out.